Thanks for being here. So right now, we're at home casino. Would anybody, as we get people coming in the chat, would you like to see what the casino? Would you like to see what the casino looks like? Oh yes, in the game. I did. We decided to do a 30 minutes on Ace's stream, and we started our stream a little bit early. So thank you everybody for coming here a little early.
So good stuff.
It is.
I'm having a good time.
Cheers.
I got drinks. We got a buffet over there too. It's
Woo.
all decorated and everything. I'm having a blast.
All right. So would you like to see the buffet? Oh, wait a second. We can.
Yeah, you gotta come see the buffet.
All right. Ace says you gotta come see the buffet right now.
Yeah, I'm applying for a host job over here, but yes, complimentary buffet.
So right here we got mango panna cotta. Made by Chef Nelly, aka my IGT Game King. Oh, thank you in the game for shining the stream. Notifications have been a hit or miss mess right here.
Gotta love YouTube.
Oh, gotta love YouTube. Hot mess.
Shout out to Cinnamon Girl, Hot Mess Express.
Yep, choo. And here's a brownie. Here's a cheesecake brownie with a beet puree and a kiwi topping. So here's the buffet, along with some lucky origami cranes to bring us good luck. I also hold that if you fold 1,000 origami cranes, you can hit the grand on Dragon Link. That's a rumor I've heard.
I'm hoping so. I like a grand jackpot. I can make
Same. I'm curious. Have you ever? Oh, thanks in the game. I'm curious. Have you ever? Oops, 1 second. Hang tight, buddy.
Yeah, there we go.
Done.
And then back down, yeah.
Roop. So I'm curious. What was your first blackjack experience in Vegas?
Oh, it was interesting.
We would love to hear your story. Story time.
All right, little story time while we get set up over here for blackjack.
I'm going to try a few hands while Ace tells his story. Here we go.
Yeah. Okay, so first blackjack experience in Vegas. It was something else there. So, you gotta split no, split those aces. Split those aces. There you go, babe. That's how you do it. Double blackjack. Oh man, it's a shame it pushed to 21 because that's how you really do it. That's how you really make your money. Is you do those splits and you do the double bets and all that. That's how you do it. So first blackjack experience, I think it was at Excalibur or something like that. Because it was right before I went to go play some. Oh, see, there you go, man. You're just getting all these blackjacks over here.
Yeah, I think the more we start telling stories, the more we will win.
Yeah.
That's how live streams always go.
Hey, that works out. Dang it. Okay. Well, now that we're losing a little bit, do a story. Let's see. You're up against dealer Ace. Should we double down on that?
Why just double down? Why not? Oof. Alrighty, so I'd love to hear your story. I'm glad.
Well, I've been reading the books and I'd been practicing my basic strategy and all that. I was doing all right, and I remember I had met this girl. No, it wasn't at Excalibur. It was at MGM Grand because I had met this girl at the pool. This was young single Ace, and he was still talking to girls in Vegas and looking to have a good time in Vegas and all that because he liked to meet pretty girls. It's just how 21-year-old Ace was, right? So I read all the books, and then she said that she was brilliant at blackjack. And I'm like, well, hey, I'm brilliant at blackjack, probably, I don't know. Let's see, I doubled down on that.
And so what happened, with the girl?
Well, here's the thing, because we sat down, we each took a couple $100s, because I'd been saving my allowance and all that, because college kid, that was all the money that we'd ever seen, right? And then she was like, hey, we're going to turn this into a whole bunch of money. And I'm like, all right, I'll follow your lead on this. And I turned, because she's like, I know how to count cards, and I'm going to go ahead and have a good time. I'm like, well, I've been reading the books too, so all right, let's get in on this. And it turned out she was terrible. She had no idea how to count cards.
How can you tell that how can you tell that she had no idea what she was doing from the start at the moment you sat down?
Well, I think the moment I sat down, because she said that splitting eights was a bad play, and you always want to split your eights. Double on that one. See, told you. But you always want to split your eights, because 16 is the worst hand that you can have. But if it stand on that, yeah, you already know.
So what reason about 16 being the most hand?
So 16 is the worst hand that you can get in blackjack, because as far as hard hands go, because you can't really bet out of it, there are only 5 cards that you can get out of 13 possible cards. that'll get you out of it. It's like the worst one. It is the absolute worst hand that you can get. Even at 12, you don't have that many cards that can bust you. The only card that can bust you is a face card here, but that's only five out of 13, because otherwise you can get anything but from a 9 to an ace and you won't get busted.
Wow.
That 16 is rough unless it's an 8, so you want to split those right away. And she's like, no, it's a sucker play to split 8s. I'm just gonna go ahead and hit on it. And I'm like, no, split the 8, because that at least brings you down. You can get 2 of them. You can get into an 18. It's a good hand. It's not a great hand, but it's at least a good hand. And that was the first tip off there. So really bad basic strategy mistakes. I mean, she was just coming through looking like a scrub, really.
Yeah, but I'm curious, like, do you think that whole play affected the play? Do you think, like, there's this like superstition that does go around that that bad player can infect the whole table?
In Blackjack, no. And I'm going to tell you why in Blackjack.
Right isn't that poison the table?
Well, here's the thing about in Blackjack. So it's not so much a superstition, it's mathematics. So a bad player can ruin certain moves because there are instances, especially if you're counting cards and all that. I double down on that. If you're counting cards and see, told you.
Yeah, right. So what happens? Where is it about counting cards?
So if you're counting cards, you know which cards are supposed to be coming out next, which cards aren't supposed to be coming out next, and then sometimes like a bad player, if they're just doing random things, they'll take a dealer's bust card. So the whole table was supposed to win, and then they end up either winning or they'll lose the whole game for the whole table and all that. So it's not so much like a bad juju thing. It's a skill thing, because Blackjack is largely a skill game and it's a mathematics game. So if you're not playing it correctly, you actually ruin it for everybody else. You know, that's kind of the thing.
So close.
Yeah, so close, but
Yeah.
you just kind of play through them. There's nothing else that you can do. You just play through them all.
Yeah. So how does like one bad player like playing taking like the deal's bust card ruin the table mathematically?
Well, here's the thing. So let's say, for example, that you're going in and you're up against, let's say, a dealer 16, yeah? So if you're at like an 18 or 17 or something like that, and all of you guys are up there, if the dealer's about to draw a 10, then that means that the dealer's going to lose because he has to draw. Because if he's at a 16, he's obligated to draw. There's certain levels that they're obligated to draw at, right? So if it's 17 or above, the dealer has to stand, which means if you have something weaker than 17, which is a lot of hands, you're going to lose, or you have to risk busting. Whereas if they're on a 16, they have to risk the bust, and then most other hands you can usually beat a 16, because the 16 is going to have to force its way higher, is the thing. So they're going to have to play the odds where you don't, and that's kind of your plan. But if someone takes a card like that, let's say that they're in this situation. Let's say they're in this situation, and we're going to pretend it's a 6 over here. Let's say the player hits, and they take the 10 that's supposed to bust that dealer over there. Well, you guys all had your cards ready, and then they take the 10, they bust, but you still had your 17, your 18, or whatever. And instead of having a 16, the dealer draws anyway, and they end up with a 5 instead of the 16 that this other player got, then that other player just drew the dealer into a 21 and beat all of you. Instead of just beating themselves, they beat all of you. So all of you guys got your money smoked when he could have just been patient and said, no, I'll stay on the 17 and I'll risk it against your 16. And then the dealer draws the 16, draws that 10 that this other player would have taken, hits a 26, they lose, everybody at the table wins. Because here's the thing, there's no benefit for the dealer winning. The dealer does not get paid more if he wins. The dealer does not get paid more if you lose. It doesn't matter. Because the dealer works for it's the casino's money, it's not the dealer's money. The dealer doesn't care. The dealer's getting paid by the hour. So there's no benefit in helping the dealer win. The dealer does not benefit from winning. The dealer actually benefits from losing because he's more likely to get toked. So the dealer would prefer that you're having a good time, continuing to play, and winning because he's going to get a tip. Because it's not his money. As long as you're playing fair, he's like, hey, he'd prefer that you're enjoying yourself.
Yes.
But that's the thing.
That's a really good point. Like, if the table is winning, people are more likely to see the tip and say, oh my gosh, thank you so much, here you go, here you go.
Yep, so it's just a better thing in general.
Yeah, I'm curious, what was your best Blackjack experience ever?
Oh, best Blackjack experience ever. I'd probably say, there have been a lot of great experiences. One that comes to mind immediately, I was down at the D. with the Vegas Paradise and one of his friends, and we were just having this great time on this crazy little bonus blackjack and all that. And then we had a good end to the night and all. Like we had this other guy that had just kind of popped in. He was just having a miserable time. He was being a jerk to the dealer and all that. And then we're just like, bro, you can't be a jerk. Stand on that one. I'd stand.
Why stand? I'm curious.
Because the 20's almost a guaranteed win. Why risk splitting up a guaranteed 20
Oh, yeah.
to get something weaker?
Good point. So what were you saying about the joke he posted into the deal?
Yeah, guy was being a jerk. Like he was losing. He was being a jerk. And you don't have to be a jerk to the dealer. Like if you lose and just say, oh man, that you can make some jokes and all that. Like if when we were losing a little bit earlier, we're like, oh man, yeah, like you sure you shuffled all the way through? Can we have can we have a 20 every once in a while? Are you sure? Do you have any of those in there for us? But it's just the usual trash talk and all that. But at the end of the day. But this other guy, he was taking it super personally, and it's not like the guy owns the place or anything like that. It's not his money, and he doesn't have any. He's not invested in you guys like winning or losing. He's got 8 hours to do, and he wants to go home to his family like everybody else at the end of his 8-hour shift. It's not a personal thing. He's not trying to steal all your money. He's not interested in your money because he's not going to see any of it anyway. He gets the same cut at the end of the night, whether he deals any games or not. And yeah, just so being a jerk to the dealer is not helpful. I mean, if they're rude, talk to a pit boss, talk to the floor managers, talk to somebody else. Say, hey, the dealer's being a little rude over here. I'm trying to have some fun. But, if they're doing their job, they're being kind, they're dealing fair. And, that was actually an instance you want to double, so you would actually made more money on that.
Oops.
Well, no, you still won.
So,
It takes it's basic strategy.
It does. So, after you tell the story, do you think we could kind of go through some of the strategy again?
Oh, sure, yeah.
So,
now, basic strategy, it's a tough one because you want to make sure. There's actually a chart for it over here. So
now, let's see the chart. I'm curious.
Let's pull up the chart over here. I've got a Wizard of Odds chart.
Yeah, I'm wondering, so what happened with the rest of the story?
I mean, not much. Eventually, the guy got kind of tired, and we're like, yeah, man, don't worry about it. We're going to get you on this next one. So we put a bet out. And we're like, okay, we're going to put a bet out, and we got some cash over here. You want to try and double this over here, right? And the guy's like, yeah, sure, we'll play along. We'll play along with it. And so we put it on in, and then all of us dealt into at least 20. And it was pretty dope. So he busted on it. So we all won, and then the side bet that we did for him, he won on that. So we were like, okay, so you get to keep this half of the winnings, and we got our winnings. So then we punched out in cash. So it was fun. So we just made sure he got the toke.
Okay.
So we're like, yeah, bro, don't worry about that, dude. We had a great time with you over here. That guy was just being a jerk, but we were just goofing earlier. We weren't trying to make things troublesome or anything like that. We were just having fun.
Now, what's the sweet story? I definitely do want to play blackjack. I'm curious who's in the chat.
Oh, let me see. Who's hanging out in here? I gotta pull the chat back up.
No, 1 second.
Let me see. I know I got in the game in here for sure. We got String Dean up in the house over here too. We got T-Town Gambler in the house. We got Tina M. We got Michelle, Sweepstakes Mom in here too. We got a lot of great people in the chat. Having a great time.
Really appreciate all of you being here on short notice.
Yeah, Shaka Slots is in here too.
Cheers. Woo!
Blackjack chart.
I'm looking at blackjack chart. So I am curious. I do want to hear from the chat. What has been your best or craziest blackjack experiences? I'd love to hear from everybody.
Let's see. T-Town is learning right now. So surrender is allowed. And then dealer peak for blackjack. All right. There we go. Okay, so we've got a basic strategy card built up over here. So this is roughly what it's going to look like. So you're going to see your...
May you please show it to the camera
yeah.
so people can see?
So we'll put it on over here. So basically what you're going to see the dealer's card over here. So you're going to look at their up card, and then you're going to see your card over here. So what your cards add up to on this side over here. So you have the hard version. So so a version without an ace, where the ace can be a 1 or 11. There's a soft version where the hard version where the ace can't be 1 or 11, where the ace is basically relegated to being 1. The soft version where the ace is 1 or 11. And then the pairs. So this shows you what pairs to split, which pairs to hold and all that, which are going to be the most profitable. And you can just get this on Wizard of Odds. It's pretty straightforward. So it's a good time. Shaka's.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm wondering how did you stumble across that site?
Oh, just standard Google search, honestly. It seems to be pretty consistent. It was consistent with the books I was reading, and it's been helpful, so it's been great. Oh, actually, in the game, Simon, I hit a $1,000 on a bonus bet blackjack. You hit the button when you got blackjack and paid a $1 bonus bet. So that's not bad.
I'm curious, what is the bonus bet since I'm very new to blackjack?
Well, it depends on what it is. There are some free bet ones where if you get where they have these silly rules, where if you play to a certain level, you can get where like if things match up, like they have these free bet things and they have these bonus bets and all that. Yeah, you're up against a 9, so if you ever need to scout that.
Alright, let me try looking. So we got an 8.
Yeah, so you got an 8, so you're gonna be in that column versus a 15. Against an 8, you want to hit every time.
I did not know that. I didn't know you wanted to hit on.
Yeah. Now it doesn't always help, but if they had an 18, you would have lost anyway.
Yes.
So no matter. So you always kind of think worst case scenario.
So would you like to play a few hands to rock with?
Yeah, sure.
Rock everybody through your strategies? We would love to hear all about it again.
Yeah. I'd love to go over a couple of hands here. Now normally I'm not on my channel, so I can say it out loud because normally I'd count through a deck, but because this is an auto shuffler, it doesn't actually count them. So let's see what we got over here. So we've got a 14 versus a 3 over here. These are hard. This is a hard 14 versus a 3. Now, since they're low, you want to stand on that. I don't want to risk busting, and I kind of want to force this one to bust over here. So there we go. There's our bust. There's the board bust that we forced.
How come the deal is most likely to bust over there?
Just mathematically, because it's over, if they do run into a 10, which is a pretty common card, because it's the queen, the 10, the king, and the jack. There are 4 face cards there. So if they get one out of those 4 face cards, if it's a 3, we're assuming there's already a face card there. So that means it's going to push them into a 23, or even if they get, with a 13, if they get a 9, that's going to be a 22. So there's still 5 out of the 13 bust cards. So it's not too bad.
Yeah, I did not realize that.
Yeah, there's a lot of math involved on it. We'll let it ride over here. I'm feeling confident.
Lucky too.
All right, so here's another one. Now, splitting strategies. This is where it gets tricky. These are the ones that require a lot of study. Now, a 2, you're virtually never going to split. Now, this is an instance where you would split the pairs here because you have 2s. You have a better chance of getting into 11s over here, 10s and things like that. Lori Luckbox in the house.
Hey,
what's going on,
Lori.
girl? How you doing? And then Susie Q in the house, too,
Hey,
enjoying the
Susie.
lesson. All right, right on. But, yeah, we're going to go ahead and show you guys something. This is a hand I often see misplayed. Is not splitting the 2s because the 2s are kind of rough to split sometimes, but yeah, we'll go ahead and split on that. We're gonna split those 2s. Okay, so this is an 11 now. Now we're up against the 7. We have a chance to double down low over here. There we go. Now we got a 12 over here, so that wasn't ideal. We're up to a 16 over here, so that was kind of rough. Usually you're hoping for like a 21 or a 20,
Yeah.
but it happens. So now we got a 12 against said 17 over here. This is an instance where you just kind of hit. So there you go. That's a 15. Dang, this is not an ideal.
Not at all.
Yeah.
I'm curious.
But we got to hit again.
I'm curious. Is the dealer allowed to split?
The dealer is not allowed to split. So that's another bonus that you get as the player. The dealer is not allowed to split,
I
no
did not
matter
know
what they
that.
have. Yeah. So if they get bad hands to split, then they just have to hit them sometimes. Okay, and that's a loss. That was a big loss.
That was a sad
What a
one.
shame. What a shame. Oh well. What you gonna do? That's just how it goes sometimes. It goes in waves. In the game, you just suckered out by a gold digger. Well, it happens. That's why you don't pay for anyone to gamble unless you live in the same house as them, unless you share the same bank account or something like that. Never pay for anyone to gamble ever. Just don't do it. Don't do it, boys. I've done it once. It was a bad idea. It really was a bad idea. I was glad I was winning. I was lucky enough to be winning in that instance. Okay, so let's see. We got a 13. No, we got a 14 over here against the 4. I don't think you hit against that one specifically. You'd actually be safer standing on this one. So we'll stand for the sake of strategy. And then, they took a 17 too. So sometimes you just have these lows, but you got to keep your bankroll as good as you can. So you keep the lows above the lows, and then the highs over. Yo, there's my boy Bobby G.
Hey, Bobby.
My main man, Bobby G. Great to see you, brother. Miss you already, man. Now let's see, we got a 12 over here against, now here's a rough one. 12 is a rough. Now you won't bust many cards against a 12. Again, you can only bust on a 10 with this one. So usually pretty safe to hit. So you want to hit on this one over here. But that's one of the cards that you'll bust on. Yeah. So that's just how it is. That's just how it is. Sometimes you got to live with it.
I'm curious, is there a way to tell when the machine's gonna get tighter, or like either the machine or the deal is getting tighter?
The machine, no. The dealer, yes. So you can tell when you're playing, when you're seeing more face cards up front, that's gonna be it's gonna be a bit minus.
Now, how come at the table face cards indicate a minus?
Well, you can technically do them one way or another, but face cards on the table, like they favor the player in the deck. So that means if you hit, you're more likely to get a bigger card, and then if you don't, then you get the smaller ones. That's the basis of counting. So counting, you usually want to make sure that you get as many face cards in the deck. So even if you're in a bad spot, you have a better chance of the dealer dealing into a bigger card, or if you need a bigger card, you get that. And then it's the opposite with the smaller cards. So if the dealer has to deal, then they grab a smaller card. It's actually worse for them, you know?
Now, why is it worse for them to get a smaller card?
Well, it's worse for you to get a smaller card with the dealer, because if the dealer has a 16 and they have to hit, but if you only have small cards like 5s, 4s, and 3s, they're going to get big numbers at the end, and they're still going to beat you on weak hands that you're going to get. So that's the trouble. So the big thing is you want to have as many 10s and such available to you. That means more blackjacks for you. That means more good doubles into 21s for you. That means a whole bunch of good stuff. And it's bad stuff for them. So when you're counting cards, the low cards, if you see a low card come out, you add one. It's a +1.
Yes.
And then if you see a high card come out, it's a -1. See, right now, if we were playing a new deck, it'd be 2 high cards, so that's -2. Then there's a +1 over here with the 5. That means we're at a -1. We're currently at a disadvantage here. So even if we hit, odds on, we're going to be in a worse position here. So we'll go ahead and try and hit on this one because it's a 15. Say we busted on that one. The 8 and the 9 don't really matter, so we'd be -1 right now in the game.
Yeah.
That means the table would be favoring the casino, and you want to get away from it. Now, obviously, it's going to take time, and it's going to change over time and all that.
Now, how do you get the table to favor you eventually?
So what you want to do is you want to get to a point where, let's say we're in a new game over here. Here's a 6 over here, that's +1. Here's a 2 over here, that's +2.
Yeah.
And then here's a king over here, that's -1. So these two cancel each other out, that's 0. +1. So if you're at a +1 over here, that means the game is favoring me right now.
Oh, wow.
So I'm having a much better time. So this 12 over here means I should probably still stand on it. But if it's at a high count, I can probably be a little more reckless and do some more creative plays where I can really maximize it. That gets into basic strategy deviation, and we only have 6 minutes left on stream, so I'm not going to be able to get into that tonight. But you know.
Actually, we can go a little bit over.
Well, you probably can. I can't because I got to get home to Wonder Woman. So,
Okay.
yeah, because she's expecting me. She's expecting me. Yeah, no, she's
so-
likable.
So should we do a part? Should we do a part 2?
Yeah, we're gonna have to do like a sit down on this one over here. I think we'll have a blast with it.
Alright, so I'm curious in the chat who would be interested in basic strategy deviation and black as part 2 for our live stream.
Yeah, let's find out. Yeah, let us know, guys. And let's see, we got a soft 13 against an ace over here. I don't think you take insurance on that one. It's not something that you normally take insurance against. You'd normally just kind of want to hit against that. So we're just going to go ahead and hit. Shaka Slots shouting out Wonder Woman over there. That's right.
Woo!
She's the best, I'll tell you what. Yeah, do it again for the collab. Susie Q would love a part 2 for sure.
Alright, so let's do basic strategy deviation part 2. What
Yeah.
day would work for you?
Oh, shoot. We'll try it offline. Because I got to look at the work schedule, girl. Let me tell you.
I gotta look at my school schedule and work schedule.
Yeah.
too.
See, there we got to keep up with the schedule, Spinners and Sharks, but we're gonna make it happen. We'll make it happen for you.
will.
Dang, look at this over here. Can I surrender on this? Oh man, what is this? A 16. Now here's an interesting thing. It's a 16 versus an ace. This is one of the rare oh, I can't surrender though, because normally you'd want to surrender if you can, because that would mean that you get half your bet back.
Yeah, why does not let you surrender something?
'Cause it depends on the rules of the game. Sometimes they'll say you aren't allowed to surrender after a hit or whatever.
I not know that.
Yep. So in this instance, we're just going to go ahead and try and hit. And we got a 20, so best bet, stand. Oh, and we won it. We took
Come
it.
back.
So that's not too bad. Let's let it ride. We're up in the line.
Ride till the sun goes down.
Indeed. All right, so we're up against soft 18 over here. Excuse me, and then we're up against a 10. We want to hit into this. 18's good, but if you can get it make something stronger. Yeah, TC knows what it is. Wonder Woman not afraid to use the business end of the frying pan if Ace comes home late, right?
Yeah, that'd be pretty painful.
All right, have you seen her? You've seen her. She's super strong.
She is.
Super strong, super beautiful.
Yep.
Super perfect.
How did she get the name Wonder Woman?
You know, it's kind of a funny thing. So on my old channel, my Yu-Gi-Oh channel, I used to go by Ace of Bats. It was kind of a Batman parody and all that.
Nice.
And, you know, so she, you know, Wonder Woman's a superhero too, and like they're on the Justice League and all that. So I thought it'd be a good combination. I like the Batman Wonder Woman pairing because, you know, Batman's so crazy and he tries to go out of his league, and Wonder Woman can like bench press a planet, and she'd probably be the only one that can hold him down, honestly. So yeah, she's perfect really for him. So, and she's perfect for me. Dang it, that Blackjack though.
Do you think you would ever want to come over and try the Blackjack?
And you know, she's not much of a gambler. I'm sure she'd come through, but she's not much of a gambler. I've never actually seen her gamble before, believe it or not.
I was wondering. So I got 17.
That's this hard 17. We got to stand on that. Dang, bro.
Isn't 17 one of the worst hands?
It's the worst good hand. So you still want to stand on the 17 because so many things can bust you. You only get 4 good cards that can save you, and they don't make the hand that much stronger. So yeah, that's one of those ones where you kind of want to stand on it. Now here's a good one where we can double, because we are in a position to, we can't double on this one. You usually want to double on a 9 here.
Yeah, no, it's like, I find it strange I won't let you double.
Yeah, it's just the rules of this machine over here. So if you can get a game that'll let you double, that'll definitely increase your odds too. So there's the 13 there. We could feasibly stand on this, but since we're playing, I figure we may as well hit, you know, have fun with it. You could hit on it. It's a bad move, but you could hit on it. We're not in a terrible position. And 1 + 1 + 2 + 3 + 4, we're in a favorable spot. So there we go. We got a 20.
Yes,
we'll stand on that. And then we were able to win that one because we were in a favorable spot with the +4. So there it is.
I'm wondering, how can you tell how can you tell if a table is a 3x2 table or 3-to-2 ratio table or machine?
You know, it'll actually be printed on the felt. So it'll tell you if it pays 3 to 2, and it'll usually tell you in the rules section too. So that's it. So if you have a rule section to go through. Yeah, so it'll see dealer hits on soft 17 or less. Dealer stands on hard 17 or above. So ideally you want dealer stands on soft 17. That'd be the perfect table. Odds on it's usually going to be stands on hard 17, hits on soft 17. That's just how that is. Dealer stands on 6 cards totaling 21 or less. That's just kind of how it is. But if they get up to six cards and they can't draw anymore, if they only get like 2s and 3s, then you might be all right. So it wouldn't be too bad. Player wins on 6 cards totaling 21 or less, so that's not too bad. That's actually a nicer rule. Blackjack plays 5 to 2. So, I mean, that's not perfect. You want 3 to 2, but that's not bad. That's not bad. That's better than a lot of other places. Yeah. Sometimes it's 6 to 5, and that's pretty rough. So.
Oh, yeah, and on video poker, don't you want a 6 to 9?
Actually, 5 to 2 is really good, come to think of it.
What makes 5 to 2 the best?
So if you bet 20, then you get 50. So that's actually really good. So that's yeah. So you got some good rules on that one. All things considered, that 5 to 2 makes a big difference.
Yeah.
So and you'll never see that. 3 to 2 is ideal.
Now how come you never see a 5 to 2?
Because it's not favorable to the casino, and they'll lose a lot of money.
Yes.
All right, so we'll go ahead and because we don't have the option to double against the 8 over here, we're gonna hit on this one. It's gonna be a good time. Actually, we wouldn't really want to double on an 8 anyway, if I'm being honest with you. But you know, if it's a good count, you'll go ahead and go for it. So that's a 3-6. So that's a +2 over here. We're up on the 16 against an 8 over here. We'll probably want we'll hit on that, and then that puts us into an 18. We're gonna +3. We're gonna stand over here, so it puts us in a favorable position. And I almost had it. No worries. There it is. See, so we got to push. It's not a great position, but it was a favorable position. And yeah, that's the top of the hour. But that's our basics on Blackjack there.
All right, so definitely. So I thank you. All right, so.
Let's turn your back around.
All right, so thank you everybody for watching. We definitely got to do a Blackjack deviation stream.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be a long one. That's gonna be a fun one there.
All right, so 1 second, hit the wrong button.
Left as we don't lose anybody there.
So thank you everybody for being here. And also
appreciate you having me over, by the way. Thank you.
You're very welcome. Also, let me see if we missed any super chats. Yeah, because
See,
you
'cause
have
I know that in the game did $2 super
Oh,
sticker,
thank
so
you in the
appreciate
game for
that.
the super sticker in the game. We gotta get together. Everybody get your snacks ready because we're gonna be doing a long blackjack deviation stream coming up next pretty soon. Hopefully we can get some that works for all of us. Alright, so thanks to Ace of Vegas for being here.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
You're very welcome. I hope you all have a great night. Bye bye. Cheers.